What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of AppMasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content in the app business. Today, I want to give you 5 actionable, juicy campaigns that you can run when you don't have any money for marketing. Look, we've all been there. Maybe we're bootstrapping, or maybe we spent all our money on development and have very little left for actual marketing. And you're like, Steve, I've got no money for you. Sorry, I can't hire you, but please provide me with some actionable advice that I can use to grow my downloads. So I'm going to give you some clever ones, not the basics that you might have already heard about, but these are clever, juicy campaigns that you can use to grow your downloads. Number 1, work with an influencer. Now, I'm going to put a card up here to one of my favorite videos, and it kind of outlines one of my previous podcast guests, the strategy that she used to work with influencers from the very start of her app. She was interacting with them, really trying to engage with them and give them a beta version of the app so that when it finally launched, she had a very successful launch. She drove over $10,000 of actual sales as a paid app. It was a great example of somebody who's actually working with influencers and engaging them. Not necessarily saying, hey, will you please promote my app, but hey, will you please check out my app? We think it's gonna add real value to you. Let us know what you'd like to see in the app, and obviously we'll give you a free premium version of the app. And I love this story because it shows the hustle, the grit that you need when you don't have any money. If you don't have money, equity, real equity in terms of coins, then you need sweat equity. And that's what you need to do to really promote your app. So it's a great story. Check out that story. The other thing that you can do when you're working with an influencer is create the app with the influencer, meaning you have a sticker app. This was very popular a couple of years ago when Apple first released their stickers feature. And what it allows you to do is say, hey, big influencer, I'd love to create a sticker app for you. Would you promote it to your audience? And we go 50-50 or whatever that revenue share is gonna be. You split it with the influencer because you need a distribution channel, and the App Store is no longer just a distribution channel. You're gonna rely on that influencer's followers to be your distribution channel. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. You notice that PewDiePie, if you even think about Harry Potter and those licensing deals, those are working with an influencer. It's a license, so you're paying with it, but it gives you organic downloads. So that's how you work with it. I have a great episode that I'll link up into the show notes as well with a past podcast guest where he talks just about how to get licenses from major sports. And that's what he's been able to do. But if you think about licenses from any title, from Harry Potter to a big influencer, PewDiePie, these are all types of influencer deals. So I'm sort of lumping them all into one, but that's one way from the very start that you can start leveraging that network and get some tremendous organic downloads. Number 2, look, create juicy content. I wrote this blog post back in the days when I was launching one of my camera apps called OSnap. Still out there. It's not the best app, so don't check it out. But at the same time, I wrote this article called, Hey Apple, I just fixed your camera app. And if you read that article, you'll notice that the Apple camera that you currently have right now is very similar to all the features that I said was wrong with the Apple camera app back in the days when I first launched it in 2014. So you'll see that I'm very proud of the fact that I've been able to fix the camera app. And I literally did fix the camera app because they took a lot of my suggestions into the default camera app that you currently see on your iPhone, but did tremendously well. We drove 10,000 views within the first couple of days. It was picked up by this design Reddit blog. I forgot what the name was, but people were creaming me, killing me, saying like, this is such a dumb idea. I can't believe this guy did this app. But that drove 100 email addresses to the website. At the bottom of the post, I said, hey guys, if you agree or disagree and want to know when this app comes out, go to this website and enter in your email address. And at that time, I made it so simple that every time somebody entered an email address, what it would do is literally email me instead of going into MailChimp or some email service provider. It just emailed me the person's email. So I had 100 plus email addresses coming in from that website that I had to import into MailChimp. But that's one way you can do it. Now you think about all the like clickbait type of articles that you can create. and start thinking through how you can leverage that article. Now, obviously, what really worked well for me was, one, I really believed in the product and what was wrong with the product. And two, calling out a big name company in the title really helps too. So create that content. If you don't got any money, be creative in the content that you can create, because with social media these days, it can go pretty viral. Number 3, this is a strategy that I'll link up into the card as well. It's one of my favorite strategies. It's called giving a reporter an exclusive on your app launch. Now, what you're doing to the reporter is they're going to more likely to cover that story because it's exclusive to them, meaning that they're the first people who get to write about the story. With reporters and news, so many stories coming out, it feels really special to a reporter if they're the only ones that are able to first report it, because all the subsequent articles that will come from it will link to that particular post. So if you put exclusive in the subject line, you're almost 99% sure that the reporter will open it. So if you put exclusive to Steve or exclusive to the reporter's name, they're more likely to open that email, and then you hit them with the pitch and you say, look, this is exclusive to you. Now, go check out that video if you want to learn more about it, but essentially I'll tell you exactly how it works and how you follow up with the reporter. And the fact is, you can only go to one publication at a time when you're utilizing this particular strategy. But I've been able to get on TechCrunch, Huffington Post, The Next Web, using this exclusive strategy. Number 4, and I know you probably don't want to hear about it, but yes, there is another video that is in the card above as well, but it's market research. Look, guys, the app stores are flooded with over 2 million on Google Play and on Apple, getting close to that 2 million mark. The app stores are flooded. No, it's no longer a novel idea. It's no longer just cool just to have the app in the app store. So do market research. Figure out what's really working in the app space and how you can make it a little different. Now, mix and match different things. I recorded another video about how to reskin the smart way these days, and it's about mixing and matching different features that you like about different apps. And so figure out which apps are the top grossing, what people are actually paying for, and figure out if there's a unique spin that you can put on those types of apps that you can bring into the market. Sometimes you don't need to be the biggest player anymore, especially if you're gonna be indie and really bootstrap. All you really need to do is do enough market research that you understand, hey, I can make $8,000 to $12,000 to $20,000 to $25,000 a month creating this type of app if I can get this many downloads through organic search, right? And so it's really figuring out what apps are working and how you can put your unique spin on it and then leverage ASO to get those downloads. And lastly, guys, I just did an interview with my friend David Reichelt for a new show that I'm going to be announcing pretty soon. But he was telling us that Color Switch, which blew up, right, over 500 million, 250 million downloads, and he said it was his 41st app that he created. He was creating reskins. He was creating dumb apps. He was just creating a lot of different games. And if you think about Angry Birds being the 51st game, well, Color Switch, the 41st games, the last tip is keep creating apps. If you are really passionate about creating apps, well, you're still gonna have that passion when your first app doesn't go as well as you would have. Everybody has the same story. I thought my first app was gonna get 1 million downloads right on launch. We've all had that story. I still talk to people who still, despite the fact that the app store is crowded, still have that story for me. Look, when I first launched my app in 2011, the app stores were not crowded. So I had this perception that, oh, my first app's gonna get thousands of downloads and millions of downloads. Yeah, it didn't happen. I got thousands of downloads, but didn't lead to anything. And so this last tip will test you. One, if you're passionate about the app space, you're gonna keep creating apps and you're gonna figure it out. So you're gonna learn one new thing every single time you launch. And the next thing I should tell you is create simple apps. Look, these days I feel like the app store is fragmented, that we're not looking for an all-in-one solution. We're looking for an app to help us do one or two things very, very well. And so if you do that market research and then if you create simple apps, you're gonna learn a lot along the way, and then you're gonna finally hit on one, whether it's a marketing strategy, whether it's a product idea, you're gonna finally hit on one that's really gonna take off. And it's gonna test your resolve. It's gonna test whether you're really passionate about the app space. Because if you're not, You're going to create one app and you're going to be done with it and be like, oh, the app store is too hard, it's too difficult. But those who are really serious about the app stuff, they're going to create a ton more apps. And they're going to continually create them until they figured it all out. You're going to learn a lot more, whether it's through market research, whether it's through ASO, whether it's working with the right influencer, whether it's getting the right press. You're going to combine all these tips into one, and finally, you'll find that success. All right, guys, that's it. 5 super simple tips, juicy tips that you can use to grow your downloads without spending any money on marketing. So let's just recap one last time. Number 1, work with an influencer. Number 2, create some juicy content. Number 3, use that exclusive strategy to get reporters to pay attention. Number 4, it's the hard work, but you gotta put in the hard work. It's do market research. And lastly, number 5, keep going, keep creating apps. If you don't feel like it anymore, maybe the app space was not for you. All right, guys, that's it for now. Appreciate you so much. Let me know what kind of content that you want me to create. I've created a ton of videos, so I would really love your feedback on what type of content to create. And also stay tuned for an announcement in the beginning of the year, so 2020. I've got a brand new YouTube channel and a brand new podcast that I'm super excited about. And so stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a lot about more of the business, how to manage a team, how to hire people, how to schedule meetings, how to actually sell yourself. I'm going to be talking a lot more about the business side of things, not just the app marketing side of things. App Master's still going strong, so we're going to keep doing it. But again, I want to share more of the business side of things, what I've learned from my 7 years of business, running this business, being on my own, and it's been a dream come true for me. So I just want to share some of the lessons learned along the way. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you subscribe. Make sure you hit subscribe and leave a comment below. Let me know what kind of content you want to see in the future. Until next time, I'll see you on the next video.